When I was really young, like say 5, 6 years old, I was a big Marvel fan, and my favorite character was Iron Man. And when I was really young, I for whatever reason was obsessed with end credits in movies, and the end credits to the Iron Man movie, the first Iron Man movie, was a song called Iron Man by a band named Black Sabbath. And at that time, I was really young, so I didn't know much about Black Sabbath, so I thought that they made the song for the movie. And then, of course, shortly after, I found out that the song was made in 1970. And I remember that hearing that song for the first time, and I remember listening to it a lot afterwards. And it was Iron Man by Black Sabbath was one of my favorite songs ever at that point because I was just obsessed with the song. I loved how heavy it sounded. I was just so like the riff of that song was just a catchy earworm, and it was just so amazing. And then shortly thereafter, my parents were pretty big fans of Black Sabbath and Ozzy's solo career, and I went back and listened to Paranoid, War Pigs, and The Wizard, songs like those. And then I learned more about the band, and I learned that Tony Iommi was one of the greatest heavy metal guitarists of all time, made some, infectious riffs in songs. Geezer Butler's bass playing was just phenomenal. Bill Ward's legendary drumming was just underrated as hell. But then, of course, you had the front man, and his name was Ozzy Osbourne. And later on in life, I discovered Ozzy's solo career. So I heard Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, Bark at the Room, Shot in the Dark, No More Tears, Mama, I'm Coming Home, and so many more amazing songs. And I discovered about Randy Rhoads, his guitar player. And when I found out that he died in a plane crash when he was only 25, I was just really saddened to hear about that. And then around the time of the pandemic, I went down a Black Sabbath rabbit hole, and I listened to the first six Sabbath albums nonstop, and that was all I was listening to. And those albums shaped my music taste for the better. I'm really not ready to live in a world where Ozzy's gone. Just like when Neil Peart, Eddie Van Halen, and Taylor Hawkins died, this is hitting the same way. And it's really tough. Thank you so much, Ozzy, for everything.